Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviriyam Karvavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May God protect both teacher and student. May He nourish us together. May we work together. May we have, may our study be enlightening. May there be no hate among us. Om, peace, peace, peace. Thank you. And how was your day yesterday? You had any celebration, any special on your yoga day? So what are we doing today? I remember Kapilji asked to speak on the Gayatri mantra. Is that right? Shall we talk on Gayatri mantra? So how many of you already know Gayatri mantra? I guess everybody.
I know.
Yes, yes.
And you must be reciting as well, I understand.
Yes.
Yes. So before we speak about it, let's talk a little bit about how do you chant? How do you recite the mantra? And when do you recite this mantra?
Before starting can I?
Yes, please.
Before starting the dhyana, 3-4 mantras I chant before I start with this Gayatri mantra.
Okay.
Am I clear?
Yes. So that is the time when you chant. And how do you chant? What's your posture? What's your mental frame? How do you what's your mental state of your frame, mental frame? Well, how do you do? You sit, you prepare for yourself for dhyana, you chant different mantras, including the Gayatri mantra. So obviously you are seated and probably your eyes closed.
Yes, yes.
Is that right? Okay.
And with Namaskar Mudra.
Yes. And when you chant, when you're uttering words, what images and what visualization that you naturally have?
It's some amount of ray is entering into our body that I used to think about.
So it's very interesting, actually. The reason why I'm asking is that we popularly know Gayatri mantra is one which we all know as what we recite as Bhurva Swaha Tat Saviturvarenyam. But you should know that that's not only the mantra. There are several Gayatri mantras, several. This happened to be the most popular. And it's very interesting to know the origin of this mantra. How did this mantra came to be? Who was the first one who recited this? And how did this spread over the period of time? And why did it get so much of importance? So first, let me say mantra, when we say word mantra, what really the mantra means. The literal meaning of word mantra is the sound that lead us to meditate. The sound that lead us to awakening. The sound that brings us to that divine light. So the mantra itself is a meaning of the word mantra is the sound. The word, the alphabet has no meaning. But when you utter, when you speak, and you speak in a right manner, the sound that it generates, that sound of mantra is a healing mantra, is a healing sound. It heals. It leads us to that awakening. And when you have awakening, you have the healing. So the mantra means the sound that heals. Okay, so when you chant any mantra, remember that words are not important, but the sound that it generates, that sound, if it is pronounced correctly, that sound is profound, because that sound is the sound that heals your emotions, that heals your physical suffering, and ultimately it leads you to the light of awakening. So that's mantra. And for that matter, any mantra or any chanting or any prayer, the words don't look for meaning. When we are looking for meaning of any prayer or chanting or mantras, we are operating on our intelligence, on our buddhi, and it also reflects some amount of ego. What is important is to feel the sound that it generates, whichever prayer, whichever mantra, whatever chanting that you do, even the small chanting of the Om, just Om, the alphabet is not as significant as the sound that it generates. So emphasis is on the sound that it generates. And if you are able to feel that sound, if you are able to get involved in the sound, then it has all the power to heal your emotions and lead you to the light, lead you to the evolution, spiritual evolution. So two things, mantra is healing, and words are not important as far as this prayer and mantra are concerned, but the sound that it generates is more important. Now, concerning Gayatri mantra, as I said, there are several Gayatri mantra for each demigod, for Hanumana, for Ganesha, for different goddesses. There are certain mantras which are known as Gayatri mantra for that particular demigod. And it literally means that you are praising the power of that demigod, and you are seeking the blessing of that demigod. And that's in nutshell, is the meaning of Gayatri mantra. However, this particular Gayatri mantra, which we popularly recite, has its own story. And I can explain you the meaning of each word, but it will be more interesting if you know the story behind it. So let me start with the story, and then I'll give you the meaning of each word. So the story begins in a way that, as you all know, that we are living in the dark age, the Kali Yuga. Whereas this story begins in the Dharma Yuga, which is Satya Yuga. And there happened to be a king, the very powerful emperor by name Vishwamitra. The Vishwamitra literally means the cosmic friend, universal friend. Cosmic friend is Vishwa. Vishwa is the universe, and Mitra is friend. So Vishwamitra was a powerful emperor, and he ruled almost entire earth. And he was not only king with the prosperity, but he also looked after his population, his people in his kingdom, and periodically used to travel with his ministers and his soldiers to check if his subjects, his people in the kingdom are really happy and prospering. And when I say happy, remember this is the story of Satyuga, where Dharma Yoga, where it was the righteousness which is more important and not the wealth. So his job was to go and check whether the people are really living a life of dharma, living life of spiritual well-being. So in such annual travel tour, he went out with his few thousand horses, elephants, and soldiers to travel throughout his kingdom. And it took nearly a year to complete his travel. And at the end of it, while he was returning, he had to pass through a forest. And that was the forest where there was an ashram hermitage of his guru, Dharma Guru. And he was known as Guru Deva. And the name of his guru was Vashishta. So the Vashishta was his Dharma Guru, or his guru of the kingdom. And he wanted to pay his visit to his guru. And he stops at the ashram and he bows down to his guru. And remember, he is not an ordinary king. He is emperor of the world. He is most powerful king. And he goes to his guru and bows down, and he offers his gratitude, etc. And there is a general conversation among themselves, and king is asking, are you being served with all what you want? Do you want some more land? Do you need some more cows? Do you need any more facilities in your ashram? And things like that. And in return, Guru is asking king, how is your health? How are your family members? How is your people in your kingdom? Everything is all right. General conversation. At the end of it, the Guru says, after all that you have traveled 1 year with so many soldiers, and I'm sure you were not looked after as much as you should be, so let me offer you a meal. And then king was wondering that in the ashram there are a few huts and a few hundred cows, and there is nothing else. How will this guru organize a banquet for 1,000 soldiers and offer me a good meal? And so he had that doubt as a king, which he did not express. But the guru could read his mind. He was, after all, a Dharma Guru, and his title was Guru Deva, which means he was compared to the demigods, Guru Deva. So he was very accomplished guru. And so he could read the mind of the king, and he smiled, and he looks at a particular cow in his meadow. There were a few hundred cows standing there, and he looks at one particular cow, and he smiles at the cow, and the cow looks at Guru very affectionately and gives kind of a head gesture of knocking head. And the king is just watching all this happening. And then king watches a miracle. This is the cow, which is known as the wish-fulfilling cow. Anything that you wish, the cow will fulfill it. And soon, a miracle, the divine miracle happens, that from the stomach of the cow slowly starts flowing out the delicious food of all kind, including the silverware and the glasses and plates and fruits and meals, and for as many people as they were. And the king was completely astonished to see that this is happening. And after end of the meal, king had a thought that what would this cow do here in this ashram if I have this cow with me in my palace? This cow can fulfill the wish of many people in my kingdom. So he got an idea of asking his guru to let the cow go with him. So he gently asked his guru that what would a diamond do in the forest? A diamond should be in the household and not lying in the forest. So Guru says, yes, you are right. The diamond should be in the household. So he says, your cow is not less than any diamond, or rather much more than diamond. Why should this be here? Why can't this cow be in the palace with me? And Guru says, you can ask for anything, but not this cow. You shall not have this cow. And king is offended. And but he still remains polite, and he asks once again, and he's trying to negotiate with his guru and say, look, I can offer you a few thousand cows in return, but give me this cow. And Guru says, no, you cannot have this. And after all, the emperor, his ego is higher, and he says, look, I will offer you anything that you want, much bigger ashram, much bigger land, few thousand elephants, whatever you want. Give me this cow. And he refuses. So when the second or third time Guru refuses king, the king really feels offended. And then he comes to Guru and says, look, you have not agreed on my request, but I will not rest. I will come back and take the cow away. If I wanted, I would take away right now, because the land where you are standing or living is my land. Cow where he's standing is my land, and I have a right to take it away. But being you, my guru, I'm not offending you to snatch away. But I'll return and be sure that I will have this cow with me. So Vasishtha smiles and says, be happy and you can go. The king decides to go out to Himalayas and do tapa. And he sits in meditation. But what meditation? Not the meditation that you and I do. He stands on one leg and both arms stretched over the head in Namaskar Mudra. And he just stands erect on one leg. And he doesn't realize how long he stands there. And it so happens that he spends months and years and years and years and years, 10, 20, 50, 100, 200 years. He lived, and it is, remember, this is the story which is in Rig Veda and Yajurveda as well. So, and this is in that period where the lifespan was much more than we have. So he stands in the meditation for those many years, and with his powerful meditation, Brahma is pleased, and he appears in his meditation and asks for any boon. And so king says, look, I need some kind of power that I can go back to my guru and destroy that place and get my cow out of that place. And Brahma says, so be it. So he gets a power of fire, air, and water, 3 elements. And he thinks that nothing can stop him. He comes back to that place of his guru's ashram, and he raises 2 hands, and out comes the flame from his palm, and such powerful flame, the fire, that destroys the field around the ashram and huts, etc. And he sees that the cottage where the guru lives is still as is. It did not get destroyed. So he says, look, this fire did not work. So he evokes the power of the air, and there is a storm and everything is wiped out. Yet that cottage stands as is. And then he had only one weapon, which is water. And like a tsunami, the wave of water, like a flood, rushes over the land. That cottage stays as is. And finally, Vishwamitra realizes that my guru is still more powerful than me. And sure enough, the Guru Vasishtha appears walking towards him with his wooden staff. I hope you understand what is wooden staff. Wooden staff is the wooden kind of a pole. If you have seen a rishis or sages who are in meditation, they hold the hand. Yes, that's the wooden staff. Now that wooden staff is a symbol of someone who is in meditation, progress to a point where he is like awakened soul. So he was obviously a Guru Deva, he was awakened soul, and he had that power. That wooden staff, he raises in his hand towards king and says, look, all what you did is absorbed by my staff. That's all. Nothing can affect me. And he smiles and says, I'm not angry on you, but I let you go. And king is offended again, and he vows that he will come back again. He goes back to Himalaya, again starts his meditation, again spends few more years, almost 200, 500 years in meditation. And sure enough, the Shiva appears in his dream, in his meditation, and he asked for the boon and he was granted. He comes back to Guru and he tries to destroy him once again, but he did not succeed. Third time he goes back to Himalaya. He is meditating this time, but this time, after several hundred years of meditation, he realizes, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? After all that I had, all the boons of God, I could not do what I wanted to do. So what is happening? And then there's a gut feeling, there is an awakening feeling that came to him and said, because of your attachment. And what is the attachment? How did attachment came? Attachment because of the desire. And what desire? The desire of possessing the cow, the wish-fulfilling cow. So he realizes the attachment is what is holding him back. Attachment is because of desire. And desire of what? Something that is wish-fulfilling, which means materialistically giving you whatever that you want. Then he says, why should I have it? If I'm able to get a boon from the God, why would I not take a boon to give me a peace forever and be at rest? So he decides to meditate without having any desires. And soon he hears certain sounds. He hears certain sounds and he says, who's speaking to me? What is this sound in my meditation? And he tries to focus on that sound. That's all. And soon, slowly but surely, the sound started making sense because it started giving out, it arranges itself, the sound arranges itself to form a word. And that was the word that gave him peace of mind. And he felt so blissful with that sound and words which were jumbled. And he was thinking that if this sound and word can give me a peace of my mind, I should just meditate on this word. And he does that. And after once again, few 100,000 years, Vishnu appears in subtle form and says, look, I grant your boon that this sound and word will give you a peace and a position next to me. You will always be with me. And I like you to use this sound and word in the time that is soon coming. And he says that the time of dark age. And he disappears. With his power of meditation, the king travels in time, ahead of the time, and he takes a subtle body and comes into the dark age, and he sees people. Probably he lived among us as a subtle body, and he sees the lifestyle and the situation of our life, our Kali Yuga. And he says, this is the time, that sound, which gave me so much of peace of mind, I should let people know about this, and they should recite it and meditate upon this sound. Sound, not words. He did not have clear words up to then. That sound, people should meditate upon. And if they meditate upon, not the suffering will stop. Suffering will stay, but you will have a power to sustain that suffering. You will have power to accept that suffering. You will have overpassed that suffering because of that power of that sound. And he goes back to his meditation, and then the words were revealed to him in meditation, finally. And he says, these 24 syllables, I would call it Gayatri mantra. Gayatri, he did not say mantra, Gayatri. So it was Vishwamitra who received this sound, words in a jumbled fashion. Finally, throughout in meditation, these words were revealed, and it was organized in a particular 24 syllables, which happened to be, he calls it Gayatri. It was he, as a Vishwamitra, the friend of universe, called it, I will name this as Gayatri. And that is how the Gayatri mantra came to be in the Satyuga and Dharmika. And since then, as throughout the lineage, it has continued to be recited. But he never said, look for meaning of the words. He only said, recite in a right manner, in a right attitude, at the right time. And according to that, this mantra is to be recited before dhyana or before your meditation, after meditation, and before eating meal, before sleeping at night, when you wake up in the morning. In other words, this mantra should become a part of your daily life. Do it when you wake up, after you wake up, obviously, before eating, before meditation, after meditation, before sleeping, which actually means throughout your day. And again, he kept saying in this, there's a text called Gayatri Vihara. It never says that you look for the meaning. Of course, you should know the meaning of word, Sanskrit word, but more important, it's recited in a manner with eyes closed, with attitude of surrender, with the image in your mind of that supreme power. It does not mean that you have a name and shape of any god. If you can, it doesn't matter. You can have an image of Shiva or Vishnu or whichever god, whatever god. But in this text, in this context, it says, have the image of that supreme creator, the creator of this creation, that energy, that consciousness. And when you have that in your mind and you recite in the right fashion, repeatedly, just one reciting does not work. So that reciting of mantra itself becomes your meditation. So as we many times do this Soham or Om or Hari Om, all of these are nothing but bringing a focus onto that. And again, the words have no meaning or no power, but the sound of these words, it connects you to the creator, because the sound of this word are the sound of the nature of the cosmos. So this sound at micro level and that sound at the macro level resonates. And that's how you get connected. So important is the sound, not the meaning of the word. However, let's check on the words itself. Now, it's in this text that we start with Om Bhur Bhurvaha, right? The chanting. Whereas originally it begins from the reverse. The last word is first and the first word is the last. When you look for the meaning, which is as this. Now, out of all entire mantra, which is 24 syllables, and it is formed, each sentence has eight syllables. 8, 8, 8, 24. Now, 3 words, 3 syllables are most important out of 24. Which are these 3? The first one is Vidmahe. There is a syllable called Vidmahe in a new chant. There is one which is, that we chant, you'll know, Vidmahe. The second one is Dhimahi. And the third one is Prachodayat. These 3 are significant, more significant than many others. Now, when we talk about the meaning, entire mantra is only talking about that lead us, our soul, lead us from ignorance to knowledge. Lead us, this soul, to the glory of the Creator, the brilliance of the Creator, and the creation. So, first word, Bhuvaha. Bhuvaha, it literally means material world as we know. This earth, this world that we know is Bhuvaha. Now, as you know, the loka, here in this mantra, they have, for whatever reason, there are only 3 lokas are mentioned here. In reality, there are 14 of them, according to our literature. 7 above our plane of existence and 7 below the plane of existence. Just quickly going through this loka. Bhu is our plane where we exist. It's called Bhu. And what is the power of this existence? How does it exist? Because of anna, food. And planes of consciousness, what is the plane? What is it that holds it? Is the food, body, and the matter. This is the combination of our existence, of the world. And what is the region? This earth is the region. That is Bhu. The second loka, the higher loka, one above it, is called Bhuvas. And what is the plane of existence? Prana. Prana is the plane of existence. And what is the plane of consciousness there? Is the life itself. And where does it stay? What is the location? It is a sky, a solar system. And who lives there? All the siddhas, the yakshasas, and as per literature, I don't know you know the meaning of yakshasas. Siddhas and yakshasas. Siddhas are the one who have the yogic siddhis. So they remain in that sphere, that field known as bhuvas, which is more of a, in yogic point of terms of meaning, it is astral body. You know, we spoke about different body, cross body, astral body, mental body. So this is astral body. The higher one above it is called swara. And swara loka is mental fear. It's the plane of existence is manas. And what are the planes of consciousness there? Thought and mind. Let's call it thoughts. And where does it Where is it? It's in Milky Way. So try to realize we start with Earth, then go up to solar system, then we're going up to the Milky Way and galaxies. And who lives there? Who resides there? Demigods and Indra. The Indra, which is known as the king of demigods, they reside there. One above that is the Mahaloka. Mahaloka in yogic term is called Vijnanmaya Kosha, Vijnan, which is buddhi, with intelligence. And what is the plane of consciousness there? It's profound wisdom, not just normal wisdom, not ordinary wisdom, profound wisdom. And where is the location of this sphere or this field? It is intergalactic area. So the space between two different galaxies or several different galaxies, the space between the galaxies is known as intergalactic. And who resides there? Rishis. Now, Rishi is the title, is not one person. Rishi is the title. People who have achieved that awakened that power, they are known Rishis. They reside there. And yet above this is the loka called Jana Loka. And Jana Loka is, in yoga, we call it Ananda Loka, Anandamaya Kosha, Ananda, bliss. And what is the plane of consciousness? Infinite bliss. Bliss forever. Never-ending bliss is conscious power. And where is the location? Entire universe. Entire universe. And here, who resides? Saints and sages who have been blessed. Like we spoke about Vashishta, for example, or Vishwamitra. Yet above this is one loka called Tapaloka, T-A-P-A, Tapaloka. And plane of existence is Chit. Chit represents not only the mind, but the faculty that operates in your mind, which means your karmas, which means your entire, probably you have lived thousands of lives. Whatever that you have accumulated in those lives, all your memories, all your accumulation is known as Chitta. Chitta Vritti Nirodha is yoga. Meaning of yoga, if you remember, we spoke about it in the beginning. What is the meaning of yoga? Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Chit is your memory, is the memory of all your lives. Vritti means, let's say, waves of different memories, or the vritti. How do I explain? Vritti is modification of your thoughts, modification of your memories. Nirodha means disappearing, getting rid of it. That's the purpose of yoga. So Tapaloka, the plane of existence is Chit, and the plane of consciousness is infinite consciousness itself. Infinite consciousness itself. And who lives there? Who resides there? Now this getting more interesting. 4 Sanat Kumaras. I don't know you know about this, all these things. This is going a little more. Sanat Kumaras. Now, who are the Sanat Kumara? Who are these 4 Sanat Kumara? They are known to be the son of Brahma. Brahma had 4 sons, several sons, but 4 sons who were more prominent, and they are known as Sanat Kumaras. There are 4 of them. They reside in this field, that sphere. And finally is Satyaloka. Satyaloka, which is the plane of Sat. Sat is just the existence. Sat is isness of ease. Whatever that exists as it is Sat. And plane of consciousness is infinite existence as it is. And who resides there? None other than Brahma himself. So these are the 7 lokas above the sphere or field where we operate, where we live. Likewise, there are 7 lokas known to be below the level of our existence. quickly going through just the name: Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, and Patala. So these are the 7 fields of existence which are considered to be of high and lower consciousness and known to be a lower frequencies. So in other words, it's nothing but your evolution of your Atma, evolution of your consciousness. As you evolve spiritually, consciousness, you start going up on the ladder. But if you fail to do that, either you remain on the same sphere as we are now, but if you engage your time and your activity or your thoughts in a manner that pulls you down, you can fall to these different 7 lokas. And then you have what is known as the high life of the hell. And so the concept of hell and heaven is here. As you go up the ladder, you have experience of heaven. You go down the ladder, you have experience of hell. So here again, coming back to Gayatri, Buha is this material world as we know. Bhuvaha is the space that holds the world. We spoke about it, the astral world. Swaha is the higher plane of existence, which we just spoke about, different planes. Dhimahi, that on which we meditate upon. Tat Suvaraniam. So there is a phrase that says, Tat Suvaraniam Bhargaha, the most brilliant, the highest brilliant light. Devasya, the brilliance of who? Brilliance of Deva, the brilliance of God. Savetu, there is a phrase that says Savitu. Savitu means Deva who gave birth to the life, birth to the humanity, birth to all the living being. Prachodayat. Prachodayat is so important. He says Prachodayat means lead to. Is the phrase that means it leads to. And where does it lead to? Nah Dio. There is a word called Nah Dio. It says Nah Dio means the mind. The mind. And when we say mind, our thoughts and emotions and feelings. Now, this is again jumbled. Now try to arrange these words back into the mantra and see what does it mean. It only means let our mind, our thoughts lead us to meditate upon the most brilliant light of that brilliant Deva, the God, the one who gave life to all the living beings, residing at higher planes of existence. That's what it means. So in other words, the Gayatri mantra is only, as far as meaning of the word concerned, is only says, bring awareness to your life and be aware while chanting that this time that we have in this lifetime is to be used to understand and realize that this is a very small, let's say a little dot in our entire span of life as a consciousness with the body. And during this lifetime, we must realize that our journey is to realize the brilliance, the divine light, the divine being, and meditate upon that. That's all it means. Meditate upon the brilliance of the light of that creator, of that supreme energy, which lead our thoughts to focus on that power, that energy. So unless while chanting, you do not have all these things in your mind, with the attitude of gratitude, attitude of surrender, simply reciting Gayatri mantra means nothing. Although, if you're reciting in a right manner with the proper pronunciation, the sound can give you a experience of peace for a while. So after chanting, let's say 11 times or 100 times, you will think that you are so peaceful, and that peace will last for a while. But if this becomes a way of life with the proper understanding, gradually what will happen is you will start accepting all the existence as it is, without any agitation, without any struggle, without any complaints, because you know there is this, everything that happens has a purpose. And you, as a life, only role that you have to play is to move further, to be with that divine light. Divine light is nothing, nowhere else. It's within you. It's right here. Only go internal and feel that you are that divine light. You are that divinity. And once you realize that, everything will change. You will obviously not do things that harm others, because you do not, as a divine, you cannot harm others. Can you imagine a God harming anybody? No. God always keeps everybody safe and happy. Isn't that true? So that's Gayatri Mantra. This is as briefly as I could do to fit in our time frame, but I guess it covers the essence of it. Most important is try to feel that sound, feel the resonate with the sound of it. Shall we chant Gayatri Mantra together?
Yes, Acharya ji.
Close your eyes. Relax your body. Just wait for your breathing to be very normal, natural, subtle breathing. And now try to visualize the most significant, most powerful, most brilliant light, or the energy, or the name, or shape, or form of any deity, any guru that you follow. Just visualize, focus on that image. And we start. Om Bhur-Bhurva Swaha Tatsuviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhur-Bhurva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhur-Bhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhur-Bhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So it's time for you to respond or ask or comment or whatever you have any doubts or questions or something that does not.
Acharya ji, the name per se, Gayatri, what does that stand for or mean? Why Gayatri? Why?
Yes, so Gayatri has several, as I said, this is the one of the most ancient reference or the meaning of this mantra. There are different meanings of a new age, let's say, teachers and gurus who have given different meanings, or slightly different. This mantra is also known as the Savitri mantra. So it's not just Gayatri, but it's also known as Savitri. But I really do not know, but my feeling is that when Vishwamitra, as it is said in this scripture, when Vishwamitra was revealed with this sound and these few jumbled words, he said, I shall call this Gayatri. I guess it could have reference to the cow that he was meditating or he was attached to or desired to have. Could it be that? I have no idea. I mean, because there are several, I do not know really correct reason why it is known Gayatri, because when I was meditating or checking with somebody, not somebody, my guru, my teacher, and I asked, he said, there are different names. You don't need to say Gayatri, you can say Savitri mantra, or you say Deva mantra, or Devi mantra. So he says, just let it be, whatever it is. Look, what I'm trying to say is, with my humble request, we try to use our brain so much in everything to, sorry to say, to pamper and to satisfy my ego. Oh, now I know the meaning. Now I know what others don't know. Therefore, he says, don't always look for the meaning. Just take it, because it's not from you or from your teacher or my teacher or his teacher. It has come from thousands of years. Somebody who happened to be in that mode of meditation and this sound was revealed and he said so. Now we don't have proof of this being true or not. That's a fact. nobody lived that time. Nobody, we don't have first-hand information. But in such case, either you accept your Holy Scripture or not. It's your choice. You don't accept, you don't accept. You accept, you accept. So according to that, this is the story of this mantra. Now, as I said, remember all the mantras belong to a school which is known as a Tantra Yoga. I think we spoke about Tantra Yoga, yeah? So all these mantras are practiced when you're studying Tantric Yoga. Tantric Yoga is, it by itself is a very big field of study. So if you following a Vedic life, according to Veda, 80% of Vedas talk about rituals, 80% of it. And remember, Vedas were written thousands of years ago by great sages, rishis. Why did they give so much of importance to rituals and doing pujas and havana and whatever? Yeah, 80%. It's only 20% which talks about jnana, karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, seva yoga, etc., which forms an Upanishad. Yeah, the Upanishad talks about this part of that you based on your knowledge. But 80% of Vedas only talk about rituals. The reason is that time in that yuga, Dwapar Yuga or Treta Yuga, that was the way of, let's say, engaging people to the activity of rituals of sacrifice. And it was sacrifice, whatever is dear to you, whatever that you think you possess. In other words, giving up of your possession, giving up of your ego, killing your ego. That was the way it was at that time. And later part, 20% of Veda talks about importance of knowledge, the Jnana Yoga, which is all about what we talk today, Upanishad, the Advaita Vedanta, consciousness, Brahman, etc., etc. So, in my opinion, either we have to accept as what we read or hear, or we have to contemplate and come up with our own meaning. Because any teacher or guru I go to or ask, either they have their own understanding and explanation, which we do not know unless they are self-realized gurus. They would have derived that understanding from his teacher, etc. What is true, ultimately, we don't know.
So, Acharya, when we are reciting these mantras or any mantra, there are times when certain unwanted images, unwanted in the sense that you don't realize what is this, why is this come up? And like even today when you were doing the Gayatri mantra, I was doing with you. Now, is this a cleaning process or I mean, okay, I mean, acceptance is okay, but why has it come or where is it coming from and how do I handle that?
You see, this is, we spoke about chitta, the phrase chitta. Chitta is the accumulation of your memories, accumulation of your impressions and experiences, accumulation of all your experiences, let's say, of your different life. Now, when you are engaging yourself into certain chanting, it plays up. It tries to impress. It tries to distract you. It tries to, let's say, not letting you focus on that, which is something disturbing your faculty of memories or different impressions. So it tried to overpower. Now, the only way to reduce that is to continue doing this. Let that disturbance happen. Let that different images that bothers you, that disturbs you, let that happen. Be aware of that. But do not give up this. As you continue doing this, over a period of time, that power of your, let's say, chitta, will have less effect on your power of chanting, power of your focus on. When I say chanting, it could be just simply watching your breath, for instance. Yeah, when you're simply watching your breath, you have no other mantras or any chanting. You are just watching your breath. Yeah, at that time, your mind will play a trick, and it try to recollect certain images, try to bring some kind of impressions, thoughts, which can distract you, which can disturb you. That's okay. Let it happen. Let it happen. Moment you give importance to that and say, why is it happening? Why to me? Then that gets power. Just ignore, just let it happen. Continue bringing focus back to whatever that you're supposed to do. For instance, this session, this satsang, this question answers that we do, how is that happening? In the group we have, yesterday I was going through 33 names in the group. Why are we 6 or 7? We're struggling to get 7. Why is that? Obviously, those 33 who have, let's say, enrolled, at some point of time, they had some interest in joining and doing yoga, but over a period of time, for whatever reason, they got less interested and they find it other important things to attend. And why 6 or 7? Don't think that it is something that you are doing. It is something that drives you to come, that drives you to be back here, drives you to wake up on time and be here. So it's not you and I am doing. It is our, let's say, karma, let's say our, this chitta, that memory, that power that, you see, all of us have not lived just 1 or 2 lives. We have lived many lives. So we have so much of accumulations. As I said, Satchit, the karma. We accumulated so much, good and not good, both. But all the good things has to also appear in this lifetime. It comes up. And how does it reflect? It reflects in this. Whatever activity, whatever thought process that evolves you, that's nothing but moving forward spiritually. That's all. There's no other, nothing great to be done. Nothing great to be done. Just be who you are, what we are, accept ourselves. And that's why I said, it's okay if there's 6 or 7 comes out of 33. Balance. Not that they are not good or they are not awakened. It's just that the time has still not come. Time, they also have the time when they will get into it. There is no one escaped this. No one. Now or later. This is the only way to move forward. And I do not know how much time I have, 5-10 minutes we can talk. I'm talking about not because somebody told me. For my own life, I have learned this. I have realized this. And that's the way it is. In so much of my, let's say, like all of anybody, I had also similar life, busy, work, business, whatever. It was my previous life. Suddenly, it just changed completely. Although I was meditating since 1977, I started meditation in 77, the first time, with the Sahaj Marga, with Babuji in UP, in Saharanpur. And still my life was engaged in accumulating wealth and travel and business and jobs and whatever, luxuries. But it matured at particular time in 2007 or 7, I think end of 2007, when I was living in Germany, in Stuttgart. And suddenly one morning in my breakfast time, I heard the voices. And I am looking around, who's talking to me? Absolutely nobody. And yet I can hear so crystal clear somebody's talking to me. One time, two times, third time when I heard the same words, I kind of freaked out and I said, what's this happening to me? And what was the word? The only word it said to me was, stop it. That's all. In English, clear, stop it. I did not know who's telling me what to stop. Just nothing. It just kept saying 3 times. And then gut feeling, then intuition happened. And again, it's just the intuition. No, I have no proof. Stop the work, stop the business. I was at the peak of my business career. And I go to my business partner straight after breakfast. And that was the time when we were concluding the business for next season, worth few hundred crores. And I just told them, I'm not in business. That's it. It took half day for the entire team of my business there to understand that I mean it and I'm not kidding about it. And it took 1 year for me to wind up my office in Delhi, in Chennai, in Bangalore, all the staff, everything. But I stopped it. And end of my life. And then again, it was a period of, I don't know, 6, 7 months or 10 months, when I continued with that kind of life, where I said, I will prepare my bucket list. All what I wanted to do, which I could not do, I want to do it. For example, I did not know how to swim. I learned swimming. I was fond of horse riding. I learned horse riding. I was very fond of trekking. I learned trekking, joined the trekking school. I had to travel few places that I always looked forward to. I traveled those places. 7 such lists I made, point, I completed. And yet, still not over. Then I went to Rishikesh and joined my ashram there. Then I went to Pune, went to Osho, went to Sadhguru, went to Art of Living, wherever, all the places. Finally, I met one person, I will not name, and that was end of it. Then I did not go and look for anybody. It changed. It completely changed. Of course, then I was, since 2002, I've been in Australia, coming and going back to India, etc. But you see, I did not prepare myself for all this life. Nothing. So how did this happen? This is how I say, we have accumulation of our karmic account. We do not know when does it matures. When does things change around? Only the time comes. At the time, things change, either for good or not good, depending upon your karmic account. But you continue living normal life with one clear consciousness, and that's it. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I still cannot, I can never forget those 3 words. Most unexpected time, most unexpected place, most unexpected manner, but it happens. You never know.
What is amazing is that you took the step. I mean, you actually.
Yes.
You all
Again,
keep
it was,
the voices.
it was not me doing it. It was something driving me into it. It was somebody guiding me through it. I cannot claim I did it. I cannot claim that. It's just that I let it happen. That's all. When I called my wife from Stuttgart and I said, this is my decision, I closed. She could not believe it. She said, are you crazy? But I called my brother who was helping me in business. He said, are you sure what you're doing? I said, yes, I'm sure. Of course, in talking in terms of money and finance, yes, we had some loss because we had to sell off things, we had to pay off the staff, and we had to furniture and whatever. But it's okay. That's all right. That was much small price to pay, much small. I never felt earlier, but again, meditation which I learned in 77 has guided me through. It's not that there was no change. I believe that all that impression, all that accumulation of all that what I have been following is slowly matured. It's like marathon runner, 42-kilometer runs. He must be rehearsing for years together to do it. Isn't it? Same way. It is the same way. So, and that also, look how things, as I said, universe works for you, as it says, right? Imagine in 77, I was a young boy working soon after my IIM in Ahmedabad. I was picked up by Dhirubhai Ambani. And then I didn't take that job because he freaked me out by using foul language. And I joined finally, I was picked up by other company in Ahmedabad. I worked. My immediate superior was a gentleman, brilliant guy, tall man. And we looked at each other and he was sitting other side of the room. 6th day of my joining job, he calls me in the evening, his room, and he says, tomorrow Sunday, if you have nothing else to do, will you come to my house in the morning? And I was wondering, how can I say no to him? And I said, okay. I had no idea why is he calling. The only impression right there and then I got is that probably he's trying to introduce me his daughter or something, thinking that I'm a deserving candidate. So seriously, honestly, that was my thought. And I said, okay, I lived in hostel. I went next morning to his house, beautiful house. But what I see outside his house, there are about, 10, 15 men standing in white clothes outside his house. And I was first, again, thought came, something not good. Something has happened. Why are these people standing in white clothes outside? I had no clue. Then I realized these are the guys sitting on his front yard in the garden to do meditation. And that gentleman who called me happened to be a preceptor, the head of the group. And he don't know what did he see in me that he asked me to join. And he asked me to sit down with them. I said, obviously I was the only colored cloth boy and all very white. I'm sitting and I was thinking, what's going on? My legs were paining, my knees were aching, my back was hurting me. Pin drop silence, everybody closing eyes and sitting, and I'm looking here and there again closing eyes. Don't know what to do. I had no guts to walk out of that place. End of about 40, 60 minutes, things got over. He asked everybody, how was it, this, that, whatever. And I was so relaxed. I said, oh God, let me run away. He said, you stay back. Then he asked me, what's your feeling? How did you feel? I said, honestly speaking, I couldn't bear it. I just could not bear it. My legs were paining, my back is hurting. I don't know what's going on. He laughed. He said, it's okay. Come next Sunday. Aditi, I do not know. This is a miracle. I do not know. Why did I go again on next Sunday? I went. Despite that that painful experience of first, I went again on that next Sunday and again sat through. Likewise, every Sunday, I continued going. And that's something. Later on, of course, he taught me what is happening, what kind of meditation is happening, etc. That one stayed with me all through my life. The divine light is here, and we meditate upon that divine light. That's all it is. And it stayed with me all through my life. And it is, of course, then there are many things that experiences that we can talk later. But you see, all this happens in life. At the right time, things happens. You may not be expecting it, but it opens up.
Life happens.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much, Acharya.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.